Good evening. Hello, everybody. All my friends on Clubhouse, Wisdom app, and Instagram, and Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Welcome. I'm going to start a new series. How can we have a stress buster? Maybe take one at a time, maybe like a week or 10. Talk about one every day to really get off from stress that we go through on a daily life. So I thought we want to make it much more simpler and practical, and people can really adopt it so that their sympathetic overload or stress um, level can come down instantly, and they can make it more like a habit that they could cultivate and put them uh, into practice. I'm sure everybody has their own stress busters they will use. I would welcome people to come and share theirs too. Uh, this way, you will really have some tools under our belt as we pursue more stressful situations life, right? So that's the intention. It's not like preaching or telling people to do anything, but inviting them to experiment and try, and from that they could really be protecting their physical, mental, and spiritual health, and thereby they have more energy and enjoy their life relationship much better. Okay, that's the intention behind it. I may talk about breathing, I may talk about being in the present, I may talk about um, really taking it light, or I may talk about a particular exercise that you could do early in the morning, or I may talk about ringing up a friend and talking to him, or just recollecting some good thought from some great soul. So many variety of things. I have up to 20 to 30 I can easily give on the top of my head, but also I can gather from other people too. So let's make it like a brief but enjoyable exercise, and people can come and contribute too. So I will not be talking at length on a deep topic, but more like a something simple, practical, and anybody can do it. Can we inculcate that kind of stress buster habit one day at a time, maybe 15 to 20 minutes at least? I will present my um, perspective on that, and then I will invite my friends to come up and contribute if they want to, and I would love to hear their opinion on this. So let's make it a bunch of things that we normally do, but we don't do it on a consistent manner. Maybe we will be able to do that. So today, I want to. It's a familiar thing. I think everybody knows about it. What I always talk about it. That is what we do with our breathing. How do we breathe? Do we know how we are breathing? Are we breathing shallow or deep? Are we really what's called diaphragmatic breathing, where the diaphragm goes down when you take the deep breath, and then really comes up when you take your breathe it out, so that abdominal wall goes in. That is the piston which really increases the capacity of the lungs as it goes down, and then expand the lungs so that you can breathe much more into that. And then when you breathe out, your abdomen goes in, so that diaphragm is pressed upward, so the maximum air comes out. Okay, it's as simple as that, right? So generally, people don't know how they are breathing. So the first order of business is, how am I breathing? Am I breathing shallow or am I breathing deep? Just uh, place your hand on the abdomen, and if you breathe in, your hand should come up. and then as you breathe out, hand should go down. Okay, if you can notice that you are just breathing into the chest, and then is not, you are breathing shallow. But if the hands comes up and then you're really going deeper into the lungs, then really using the diaphragmatic breathing, right? So you breathe into the lungs, not in the abdomen. The only thing is the diaphragm goes down, so abdominal wall comes up, and the abdominal goes in, where the diaphragm goes up, right? So that's the indication of that. So how often do you have to do? Just 3 times at a time, it will be good enough. Okay. Let's see. I think Snow or somebody. Let me, so this is a friend of mine coming up on the wisdom map. Oh, okay. Um, let's see. I think that connection is gone, but I will invite somebody clubhouse. Oh,
Hi, Mr. Doctor.
how
How are you?
okay. So where are you
Thank
from,
you so
ma'am?
much. I am from Pakistan.
Ah, okay, okay.
Okay, what is your specialty?
Oh, I'm an
What?
internal medicine.
Hmm. Uh,
Ah, yeah,
okay. I'm completing MCHB, but
yeah. So the topic here, one stress buster. The started with deep breathing. I'll bring the guests later on after a few minutes. If they can bring them up. So should we do prefer as many times as possible? You come to the deep breathing and use it like an arm, like an armor, right? So you start in the morning and also you going to the work. Every time you stop in front of the traffic lights and do 3 deep breaths, and so 1 hour at work and do like a few breaths, that's the standard recommendation. Then the whole session of 50 minutes of deep breathing, starting with 1 minute, maybe go to 5 minutes, and then maybe go to 20 minutes. And down the line, you will be able to do like eight at least deep. You can do in the morning for 5 minutes. It will be good enough, and then 5 minutes before you eat, minutes before your lunch. That will be good practice. If at all you just want to do only 10 minutes in the morning, and whenever you feel like some anxiety is coming on or some kind of stressful situation, stop and start to take deep breaths. And then you will come to the center of yourself, and then you can go. So, any number of ways we can practice that, but it doesn't have to be obsessive compulsive. It doesn't have to be something that you are going to stay away from a situation and start doing. But the more you are doing it on a daily basis and increasing the time, you will find you are really non-reactive to a lot of situations. You won't get into the anxious or worried or really bothered within yourself. Those things will really come down because the deep breathing stimulates parasympathetic nervous system, which is autonomic nervous system, part of it, which is nullifies the sympathetic nervous system, which is other part of autonomic. For those people who don't know what is autonomic nervous system is, we have the nervous system, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, right? Um, Central nervous is the brain and the spinal cord. and the peripheral nervous system has all these other nerves. And then there is the autonomic nervous system that functions by itself. It has got the sympathetic and parasympathetic. The sympathetic usually responds in times of crisis, when you are afraid, when you perceive a danger that will come in. Lots of times we make situations as dangerous for us, and then we have the sympathetic overload when they produce stress hormones. So this parasympathetic nervous system stimulation by deep breathing, what it does is nullifies the sympathetic overload. It doesn't allow you to react that quickly. So that non-reactive, relaxed approach to things will really make you feel like, okay, I am really doing this in a relaxed manner. I take a step back and look at the situation and then react. That kind of thing really helps people to be stable in the time of crisis or stressful situation, right? That really helps you a lot. That is why the deep breathing is very, very important and easy to do, easy to cultivate, and easy to really get into a habit. So lots of times people emotionally react and they start breathing very shallow, very rapid, and at that time just fall back, and then remember to do that 3 times, and then once you start to doing that, you will calm down and you will be able to do more. So it's like a simple thing that you can cultivate. So these kind of stress busters I want to talk about and bring to your use. Um, you may be doing it already and you may be working. So I would love to hear about that. So when they come up and ask me questions relevant to this particular stress busters, and or what do you think about the breathing first of all, and then share me with one stress buster that you have we could listen about. Okay, that would be more practical, and also we can spend the time on the topic that we want to talk about. Somebody comes and asks me what kind of doctor I am and all that. I have told him, but then I want people to on the small talk and to spend the time on the topic that we have, share and tell me the opinion about what I was talking about, and that would be so I don't want too much of your time on a Saturday night. But if you want to come up and talk about, I will be more than engaged with you. Okay. So why stress busters? This a lot of people don't pay attention to the stress that's going on in their jobs, in their circumstances, in their relationship, in their mind itself. So that accumulation of small stress over the time kind of has a bad effect eventually. It's like a uh, honey nest. What does the all bees do? They collect a little bit of honey and come out and put it there in the nest, right? And eventually, a lot of honey gathers there, so heavy it pours down. Stress is like that. If you don't pay attention, or if you are doing some other things to really escape from that, like taking a drink or taking a smoke or taking other drugs and all that, that is eventually get to us for our mental and also physical health, right? We all know that. But a lot of people still go into the kind of weaknesses and then depend on them. I, for one, feel we have natural resilience within our body and mind, and we have to tap into that. Some of these things I'm talking about are non-invasive and natural for us, and improve our health from within. you know that is the focus I want to give, where it's not like a big lecture on philosophy, spirituality, or religion, or any of those things. It's like a practical, simple tools that you can learn one a day. If you're already doing it, I want to hear about it. I want to share the wisdom of you and how you have been using this particular breathing technique. And if you have certain comments about it, please come and share with us. If you are hearing for the first time, you have questions about it, come and ask me. Whatever I know, I will let you know. Or we can go and study about that too. So that I'm coming down to very practical, simple, non-invasive, natural methods that we could cultivate. Also, don't have to spend any money either. So those kind of present, and I want to help people to really deal with the stress in their life with these simple tools. Okay, we will talk about at least 10 days, one tip a day, and then we'll see how it goes. And if people want more of it, we can series. To do different topics before at this hour at 8 p.m. This I thought maybe a better thing, more for people. That's why I opened this room. So today's stress buster is keep breathing as much as we can. Okay, if you can use that deep breathing and use it as a for stressful situations, that would be wonderful. It is non-invasive, something natural. You don't have to buy any drug or anything like that. You don't even have apps, even though the apps are there. But if you want app assistance for this breathing, there's what's called breathe to life. That is breathe to relax. I'm sorry, breathe to number two, relax. Breathe to relax. That kind of thing you can come up. You can do the deep breathing along with it. It shows something like a piston going up and down. When you're taking a deep breath, it's up, and then when you're breathing out, it goes down. Okay, so you can breathe along with it. But then, I think a lot of people know how to deep breathe. Basically, you sit down, and then you keep your spines erect, and then you take the deep breath in and deep breath out. That is what it is, and then do them slowly, relaxedly. While you can also focus your attention on the breath, on the touch of the air, alanase, that's the tip of the nose, and then that will help you to focus in the moment and also helps you relax that way. So it's a multiple effects, but then it's a very simple thing. Only thing is you want to be intentional about it. You want to do that according to your comfort. Suppose you have a situation where a lot of people are there, and you feel like, I don't want to be appearing to them that I'm taking the deep breaths and all that. Walk away from there, go to a private corner, to the bathroom or wherever, and stay there and catch your center by deep breathing and focusing on the center. Those kind of practical things people can do. That's what I want to say for today on the stress buster one a day. The first one we opened with the deep breathing, and I try to explain to you how to do it, when to do it, and also how much you have to do it, and what are the good benefits of the deep breathing in the long run. Okay, there's other thing too. A lot of shallow breathing doesn't allow you to really breathe in maximum amount of oxygen, because if you have more air going in, obviously it will have more oxygen, and also letting out all the toxins, right? So that also helps you. You can also think like that too. I'm going to take all the good in and all the negative out. That also helps you to really reinforce the positivity, whereas actively eliminating the negativity. See, all that there are so many levels of spiritual practices where you can use this for meditation also. For example, you say, when you take the deep breath, who am I? And when you hold it, you say, I am this life force. And when you take it out, you say, I'm not this, just the body and mind. So that way you establish your real self beyond the body and mind. And that is something very, very deep. So you can use it from mundane, simple breathing to all the way to realization also. And there's upasana and all that too, mind control and all that too. But various levels are there even in that. So you can use that for several ways. But what I am talking about is using this small simple method to really bust the stress at the moment as it is happening, and then use that technique. Maybe a lot of people find this very, very simple and silly, but then it's not. If you can really embark on that, you can embark on the awareness of how you are breathing. You can really be in that process. Your awareness also right there in the present moment, and that's a big deal. That means you're not allowing the mind to go into the past or into the future. You are really staying in the present, right? And then you're trying to bring that present moment in full effect to whatever you're doing, and your quality of focus and concentration improves so that you can do better. So that's another benefit too. So think about that and start practicing deep breathing if you are not already doing it. If you are doing, hopefully that's all working for you. If you have any doubts, you can direct message me, or you can come up and talk about it. If everybody is happy with whatever I talked about and don't have any comment about it, that's fine. We will be seeing you again tomorrow, and I will be able to bring you another tip that is practical, that is something doable right away, and you'll have the benefit right away. Okay. With that, I will take leave now, and I will see you again tomorrow at the same time. I will give a minute for anybody who wants to come up on different channels. If they want to come up, that's fine. Let me see who else is there. Yeah, a lot of friends are there. Cold, Daryl. See, as I opened the room, I wanted to really come down from deep philosophical and spiritual expositions, something practical that we can build upon. Because what I see with the burnout victims and stressed out IT individuals or leaders, they kind of immersed in the doing part quite a much, but they don't really stop to take their body and mind and the spirit with the same attention they do for the work. That is a problem for all of us, right? But then the moment you pivot from doing to being, at least for a while in the day, and balancing them out, I think you will reduce the stress significantly. You may not take them that seriously, and you may not dwell on them that seriously, and also you develop resilience both in your body and the mind to deal with the stresses of life. You know, soft skills that we develop inwardly, how we are happy without really doing anything, how we can be contented within ourselves, how can we be peaceful within ourselves. Those things are very important. And I'm here to humbly submit to you. There is something like that. There is a happy, peaceful, contented being within us. Once you touch that, and you don't have to have a spiritual journey, you don't have so many practices and all, but that comes after really being awareness and then establishing yourself. That means you are not thinking, feeling all the time. You are aware. You are aware of what's going on around you. You are aware of your own internal um, nature, and you are really working in the life, in the present, and not going and living in the past, not projecting in the future. So that kind of thing, breathing always brings you in. Okay, so that's what I wanted to tell you all. There's somebody here. Let's see. Hi, Ashish.
Hello, Dr. Ram. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good, good.
Okay.
I'm just going to sleep after maybe 30 minutes. Right.
Yeah, I just started a new series where I want to present simple practical tools of stress busters. What do you think?
That's nice.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. What do you have? What do you think is deep breathing? Do you do that habitually?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
I go for walking, right? So
Yeah.
even today I went for the walking. Even before like 9 a.m. I have finished my 10,000 today.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, that's very habitual now. And thing I do while walking.
Yeah. Very
And
good.
then you had also told me, right?
Yeah.
Like you just have the outgoing breathe actually you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that in coming will take a bite, sir.
Yeah.
So practicing that as well.
Very good. Yeah, I also, when I'm walking on the, apart from the breathing exercise I do with the yoga class, but I also, when I'm walking on the treadmill, I deliberately time the breathing and then I do it 10 times at a time. And the cramps, the aerobic, all those things are not there. So I use it to so many ways, you know. Yeah. So,
Doctor, can you make me a moderator?
so who are you, Niba? Is that you?
Yeah,
Yeah. What do you have to say about this topic?
I think you should be a good doctor and you can make people feel better if they are sick and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
doctor, you can make me a moderator?
Why? Why do you want to be a moderator? I'm going to close down in a few minutes.
Like to help people like when they want to come in, bring them in.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. We can take care of it. Me and Ashish are there if we need to. But we are closing down because I wanted only 30 minutes session for the first day. No, you have any questions on the topic?
Yes. What doctor do you go to?
I am a doctor myself. What do you mean? Talk about the topic.
I'm saying like what's the name of your doctor?
Okay. All right, Rashish. Anyway, I just opened for 30 minutes, and
Okay.
we're already doing it. So I'm going to continue the series for several days so that we can talk about one at a time. Tomorrow, I will pick up something. You want me to talk about anything? You have any suggestions, or can I pick it up myself?
So I think one thing, right?
Mm.
So Dr. Ram,
Yeah.
when I work, right, I try to take minimal stress actually when
Mm.
possible,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So because you can tell your colleague or boss, so that so this is what I do.
Mm.
In order to take minimum stress, so this IT is my field, right?
Mm. Yeah.
So what happened that we are really searching for a lot of knowledge and everything, right? Finding the
Mm.
resources.
Yeah.
And also on the work, we need to work on 10 different screens.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
currently I'm working a big team with a lot of people also.
You know
So,
what? The balance
yeah.
that you have within that leads to that. For me, the fact is, I don't work in stress at all. So, what you are talking about, minimal effort of the you can do very well, focused and in flow work with minimal stress. So, we will
Yeah.
talk about,
So
yeah,
so the technique that
yeah,
what I have employed actually for a lot of years now,
yeah.
that all the knowledge that I need actually, so
Mm,
I actually think not at the time,
mm,
but like when I start my day in the morning, right?
mm.
So I will like think about what kind of information I will need today. I will like not of everything.
Yeah.
So exactly whom to ask, what to ask, and so also on my web thing, I just I try to bookmark the links
Mm,
so that and then these links are very nicely placed actually.
yeah.
So I can get to knowledge easily.
Mm,
Then around and those kind of.
yeah.
That way I can keep track of a lot of things easily
Yeah.
without stress at that particular time where I need to solve the problem.
Very good. Very good.
So
Yeah.
that way, discovering lot of information, my technique well actually for
Yeah.
years.
Very good.
So
Very good.
that's how
Yeah.
I minimize. Yeah.
Yeah. That is question Ashish is presenting,
Yes.
in his mind, and then arranging tools according to that. That's good too. See, we call what's called morning huddle. So each day is new, right? So we kind of want to be for some patients requiring like a test or something. Some patients may require more counseling time and all that, right? So just a few minutes of that, it will be better. But there's other way you can be doing your routines and all that, but as much as with a silent mind. That's also possible. Talk about that also. But what Ashish was saying about minimal stress, you can work if you arrange yourself in mental way, and also outward. Instead of looking for things, they already had access to the information that he wants, the knowledge he wants, and he's tapping into that. And that's a very excellent, healthy habit, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
And the second thing, Dr. Rao,
yeah,
that like every hour, right? At
yeah,
least uh, 2 times.
yeah.
We should go away from computer, like every like
Mm,
uh, uh, 30 minutes or so.
mm,
So like when you go away from the computer,
yeah,
so your mind is empty, and
yeah.
then you can do any other.
Excellent,
So
really.
you're like not constantly focusing and getting burnout
Yeah,
when
exactly,
you're thinking or watching
exactly.
or whatever
Yeah.
you're doing. So
See,
in
I,
that way you
I
can silence your mind.
You remember I was talking about 1 minute break for every hour. That could be a very
Yeah.
simple thing, and at the time you can make like a presence breathing break. That's a very excellent thing, because a lot of times people get stuck with a computer for 8 hours, 10 hours, and they get into trouble. You want to really give it a break as much as possible. Suppose you are on a project that takes 2 to 3 hours, you want to do it, but then deliberately divert something the distance, that is also good. Just to put a flower next to the computer, and that should bring you back to here and now. So that kind of thing also is very good for people to do. So continual thinking and generating that speed of the thinking, it may be good for a while, but you have to also have the control of when you can come back to your intuitive side a little bit. That's a very healthy thing, I think. I do that with the club wisdom, whichever way, whenever I come. um, People ask me to talk about a subject, and I do listen to some of the viewpoints and all that, and I'll do my 2 cents. After that, I kind of bury all of that. That habit really helps me not to accumulate a lot of material, because most of them are not really, completely new to us for anybody, right? We will be participating in the discussion, so we'll respect other people's views, but we also listen to them. But we don't have to absorb them if they are like a not that significant, or either way, negative or positive. We don't have to react to them, and then we kind of go that is formed every moment should be stopped. Right? If you continue, that's our problem. So that's a major thing from Ramana Maharshi. He said that is the villain. If you continue the egoic part each moment as it has gone, the difficult part. So anyway, Ashish, I think
Sure.
I wanted only 30 minutes. We are already 35
Okay,
now.
fine.
Yeah. So we will see again
Thanks, Dr.
tomorrow. Maybe this will pick up, and then people will come. And I didn't even advertise. I just started spontaneously, so people can have an idea and make it practical. I don't want to be appear going too esoteric, too deep all the time, but I have practical burnout and stress situations advice that I want to present, and I also invite people how they are doing on a daily basis. Thanks for coming here, Ashish. We'll meet again tomorrow.
Thank
Okay.
you. Sure,
Okay.
Dr. Rao.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. So I just started the series, and I'll spend more time as we go along. And then I will see you all again. Thank you.